Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the ASUS ROG Fall 2021 Championships. A best of 3 between the two inarguably best Protoss players in the entire world. Who is the best of the best and who is the best of the rest? We'll find out now. Let me first introduce, in the top left, the man who seems to never care particularly much about his plan, but he executes it with such precision anyways. It is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Zest. And now, following the probe into the base of his opponent, a man who always comes so close to the finish line, but rarely crosses it. Sometimes his own worst enemy. We'll see if this time it is again. Of course, Africa C2's Trap. Protoss versus Protoss. Now, a matchup that sometimes ends up being Jimmy! A little more of a poker game than it is maybe a set of strategical choices. But if you like a good old-fashioned gambling match, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the idea that the less you know, the better you are. Because right now, Trap has put a Twilight Council out on the map, which is a classic tactic. Whereas Zest, who you'd usually think of as a bit more of a gambler, going for what seems to be a 2-gate expanded. That's about as economical as you get. He's scouting with the probe, looking for things that, of course, we know are not there. The probe from Trap actually gets taken down by the Stalkers, and Zest, oh, he's found it. He's found it. Now the question is, the probe just, I'm going to the Zest action cam. He knows. He knows 100%. Now, he actually just grazed by it. So does that mean he definitely saw it, but he may very well be hoping that Trap didn't see him see it. Though that probe did pass by, and that means the Twilight and the probe saw one another. Zest just putting himself out there with those early Stalkers. Blink is that what? Who? Trap! Now, I don't know if this is because it was scouted, or it... Well, the Stalker's already here. Trap knows he saw the probe too. What am I... Of course he saw it. What am I saying? Zest is going to go for the pylon. 4 Stalkers, oftentimes known as greater than 2. And Trap didn't go for the DTs. He went for the Blink, I think, trying to play a safer option. 3 Stalkers, going to try to poke 4. Zest knows the Twilight Council being used. Depowers it, recalls the Stalkers out. A decisive play. And now Trap is awkwardly supply blocked. Where Zest, he finds himself with a perfectly comfortable amount of Stalkers. He's got a Robo on the way. Immortal being produced. He lost 1 Stalker to depower Blink. And now Trap's going to be able to finish the Blink on the awkwardly placed Twilight Council, but when it comes to the mind games and the initiative, Zest maintains it. Just putting himself out there. This is shaping up... Well, we're on Romanticide. Romanticide is well known at this point, just in general, but as the macro map, the Cloud Kingdom version, whatever. Where 3 bases, even in Protoss versus Protoss, are not the most idealistic thing. Where 3 bases are the norm. And that means we'll probably see either... the question will be whether we see a split. So, PvP can go one of 2 major ways. One is just your big death balls you mash together. You got your Immortals, Archons, charge lots, with Blink Stalkers looking for a timing. And then, 2, you have the literal death balls, and those are Disruptors. Disruptors are a high-risk, high-reward choice. 1, because you can literally shoot yourself in the face with them, but as long as you don't go around Dick Cheneying your units, they can be the most devastating unit potentially in the game. Oh my god, Zest with a hallucinated Prism Scout. I don't, Trap bites, but I mean, he pulls the whole army back for it. Very Zest move. So, what do I mean? If one player goes Disruptors and the other doesn't, we'll see the Disruptor player just focus on trying to pick as large a fight as possible, because that's where Disruptors shine, right? Being able to shave off huge chunks of units. If both players go Disruptors, we have the most deadly dance of death. And if neither player does, then we're just gonna see... Okay, Zest, like, eventually one of these Warp Prisms will be real. The boy who cried hallucinated Warp Prism. Couple sentries picked off. Decent blink micro out of trap. Perfectly placed observers. That's gonna see the adept swing around. Third base for both sides, about equal timing. Worker counts about equal. Trap actually with a couple ahead. So it's evening out. We haven't seen the next progression of tech. Trap with a relatively late forge. Actually, I take that back. No, I don't take it back. I keep it up. Jimmy, switch the names! That's what was confusing me, just simple geometry. Using the mineral walls, barely an object to the Stalkers, in fact a protective force field, as minerals are the strongest material known to Protoss, Terran, or Zerg, as units cannot kill them, not even a nuclear missile. It looks like Zest has finally made a real Warp Prism after a couple trial runs. Is there charge for neither side? Zest is about to have +1. That's what he's moving out with. He doesn't have it yet, though. The Stalker's moving up. The blinks begin. Keep your eyes open or you'll miss it. The trade's happening, but two Immortals saunter up. A confident move, and Zest, with +1 and about equal army supply and Stalker count, has the significant advantage. Zest looking to leverage that. We'll see, with only a single shield battery and less upgrades, this could be a game-ending move. It's not... Oh, a couple of Adepts making their way by. Nothing to block the gates. Trap microing. Zest distracted. 2 Adepts in the main. No matter what time, what part of the game can be deadly. Probes dying on either side. Only 2 Adepts, but still a massive issue. The shield battery patting the Nexus on the back right now. Keeping it intact. Meanwhile, charge not done, but Trap moving in with the Zealots anyways. Blocks forward, Guardian Shield. Blinks back for both sides. The Guardian Shield helping out a whole lot. Zest not having much of his own, but he still has the Stalker count. Both Immortals are down. The probe kills seem to have trickled out. It looks like Zest dealt with it back at home. The trades are good, but Trap managed to pull a rabbit out of this particular hat. He took less upgrades with worse units, but he took the initiative. He took the initiative. And sometimes being the one to blink first means that you'll also be the one ready to blink last. Trap, I gotta say, an incredibly bold engagement, but that was the only way it was gonna work. He knew Zest was looking the other way. Zest ended up losing 10 probes apiece. What an even match. He knew Zest was maybe looking the other way at the Adepts, and he went. He got a warp in. He knew he didn't have shield battery overcharge. Zest probably not worried too much. But if he had waited and Zest had secured the position or even been looking the right way and been able to micro-say into the prism with his Immortals, there's a value in hitting first. And Trap with just barely enough units and incredible micro holds on. World class, these players. Zest, though, will still have a stable economy to fall back on. Trap is going for a 4th Nexus. Trap is actually, well, just now getting +2. Zest has already finished it. There's been a lot of action. I didn't even notice the production tab. What a noob. So, Zest looking to press the attack once again. Deja vu. We have Immortals, Stalkers, a Prism, a +1 upgrade advantage for at least a little amount of time. A lot more Stalkers this time around. The stakes have been raised, and so have the supplies. This time, though, Trap has a whole lot of charge lots. That's too many charge lots. The Stalker count. Charge lots easily close the distance. Yes, the Stalkers can shave them off, but the numbers In my opinion here, this is bold out of Zest. He's looking for one of the Archons, blinking back. The charge lots can't close the distance with the Stalkers staggering their blinks. Zest making it happen. Here we go again. Shield battery overcharge. He's not actually tapping the Nexus with it. Just helping out the probes. Trap presses the issue. +2's not done, but he can't wait any longer. Zest with the concave. Holds his ground. Right now the probes have to be pulled. Trap is trying everything. +2 is done. 10 probes die. He brings the rest back to mining. Optimistic he can keep them alive, but no. Zest with the force fields here. It's too much. Just puts himself in position to attain victory. And with it... Wow. I didn't have an end to that sentence, but I don't think it needs one. A beautiful game out of Zest. Trap with some great moves, but Zest did not flinch. Zest not known for flinching. One of the most stoic players in the game. Jamie, can we get game 2? Technically match point, but... It is a best of 3 here. Zest just needs one more, which could be 2 more minutes. That was... we never got to that really, that longer game. I really didn't think Zest would be able to grind down Trap like that. He just parked himself on the front lawn. And Trap couldn't dislodge him. He knew his timings. The +1 is a big deal. For those who don't know, weapon upgrades scale with the damage a unit does. So that means those Stalkers of Zest, killing the Stalkers of Trap significantly quicker, makes it easier to shave off Zealots, stuff like that. And because Stalkers and Immortals, especially Stalkers, are relatively thick, they take up a lot of space. You can only bring so many to bear at once. And that means if you have the concave, you just have more Stalkers firing, and that means more damage. I'm a mathematician. You should trust me.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
2000 Atmospheres is less macro-oriented of a map, but the Defender's advantage, as we saw in that last game, barely exists in Protoss versus Protoss, because Protoss units are just able to maneuver so quickly and do so much damage. Between Adepts shading into the base, and Stalkers blinking, and Warp Prisms warping, and other things doing all the other things they do. Really, your only defensive tool is Shield Battery Overcharge. And once that's gone, you're kind of out of options. Couple Stalkers aside, I think... Oh. Zest just slaps up. Well, Trap does the same. Protoss now pretty regularly feeling the pain they bring the Zergs and blocking the expansions of other Protoss. I always think these pylons are going to block the Nexus, but I don't believe that blocks the Nexus. More on my feelings at 8. If you believe hard enough, the pylon doesn't block the Nexus. Because really, how is the Nexus a physical being before it warps in from wherever the hell they warp in from? Sorry, Winter, please, please. Leave the philosophy to the YouTube comments. The professionals. Well, Trap back to the classics here again. An Oracle. Trap probably the best Oracle microer. That sounds like a weird sentence, but the best Oracle player in the world. For essentially since Oracles have existed, he's kind of mastered the little... It's a bit of an awkward stutter step you have to do to maximize the damage of the Oracle, because it has... The Oracle one, it has a lot of momentum, a lot of inertia. aka its acceleration and deceleration are quite long, the amount of time it takes to stop and start. So you kind of want to keep that while you're doing any... Oh, okay, so those stalkers are real. They're not hallucinated. Anyways, he's very fancy with his Oracle Micro. Unless they're stalkers in which... Oh, no. The Adepts heading into the main. There are 4 Adepts now. Zest boldly not putting a probe at the ramp to build a shield battery. Like, Zest. He is hallucinating a Phoenix to keep tabs on the Oracle, which is an emotionally but not physically distressing move for said Oracle. It's actually not on hold position. Wait, okay. So the Adepts are fighting the sentries. Their shield battery overcharged, but the Adepts actually just killed the sentries, because 4 Adepts kill a sentry. Wait, how did that Oracle take so much damage? The Stalkers poke it? If that Phoenix believes hard enough, it'll do real damage. So what have we lost so far? 2 sentries for 2 Adepts. That's a great trade for Trap. He is down 6 workers in executing this, though. Zest is just kind of rolling with the punches. Trap is poking and prodding him, but none of his fancy teleporting or disco ball units are... Well, okay, come on, Trap. That is, how do you say, bad. That... Okay, well... So you know all that value that Trap got earlier on, killing, like, trading for sentries? Yeah, that wasn't great. Well, Zest just takes the 3rd. I'm not sure if he was doing this before or after the Adepts just kind of shaded to their death, but when you have an army supply either advantage or you just have map control because you have blink quicker, which he does because when you go Oracles and Adepts, you don't get blink as quick, though Trap is following up. No reason not to take a 3rd. Zest's 3rd is almost a full Nexus. Quicker than Trap's, who's looking 2, 1, and next. He's got a Dark Shrine on the way, which is a bit of a gamble. Maybe hoping that the Observer/Robotics facility, which he hasn't seen, doesn't exist, in which case could pick up almost a free win. But, of course, Zest not going to be left without one. He's already got Observers out. It's unlikely DTs are going to be a huge game changer, but just the threat of Dark Templar is value in and of itself. It's not as good as winning the game, I will admit. But the DTs existing, especially when Zest doesn't have oracles to easily track them, is something. It's something. And those DTs, as everyone knows, show up when you least expect it, and they're maximum annoying? One of these is right. Max Pack's annoying. Yes. Got it. Charge. +1 weapons. Zest with all the fixins. It's looking like Zest is... Once again, Trap is kind of... try to get things done, do some sneaky strats. And once again, Zest finds himself with a solid, stable army, 3 bases, blink, and better upgrades. So Trap is headed right now down the same road he was last game with a few extra steps. How does he... He doesn't know for sure what he's looking at. The Dark Shrine is already done, but I don't believe Trap... He just has a Dark Shrine. He's getting Stasis Wards. You love to see it. I don't think we see Stasis used nearly enough. Like, every once in a while, someone will just slap down a Stasis Ward, but multiple Stasis need to be dealt with. They're not quite as dangerous as Widowmines, for example, but it can easily turn the game. Even one of the Stasis Wards catching a quarter of the army. Robotics Bay. That's not for Colossi. I know what that's for. And if Zest sees it, he'll know as well. Disruptors, by the way, in case you didn't spoil yourself already. Thing is, Zest is rolling up here. He's gonna have +2. Notice when Zest moves out, by the way. He moves out right when his upgrades... It's not done yet, but that means he'll already be on Trap's lawn when his +2 finishes. He's got 10 gates, which is not like a ridiculous number. He blinks in to trigger the stasis. There's more stasis. Zest doesn't... Does he have any vision of it? I don't believe so. Does he notice? Oh my god, how does he see? He sees everything. Oh my, just more stasis, just buying time. He's blinking in to trigger. Does he see more? Oh my god, he got 2! He got 2! There's one more though. Oh, and it gets, and that's all it takes. And this is why I say I don't think we see it enough. And the Dark Templar, waiting for its max Pax Elite timing. Okay, it's not working. It doesn't work as a verb. Maximally Pax Elite. No, stop. It's time to stop. And that, between the one stasis. Oh, no alley-oop disruptor. All it takes is one. Detection. Like, eyes are good, but detection is better. And Zest, he missed one stasis and one Dark Templar. And suddenly, Trap holds his ground, is ahead economically, and has map control. He's bought the time and the space to get double Ruptors out. Zest has a 4th, but he doesn't have the probes with which to mine from it. This is, oh my god. Zest, you can't leave! Zest finding creative ways of dealing with every problem. I guess literally body blocking is not a very creative method, but it looked cool, so that's what matters. DT Blink for Trap. What? DT Blink Stasis Disruptor. What a strat here. Alright, fires a shot. Hits a zealot. It was like 50-50 whether he'd hit his own zealots. Disruptors are... Whoa. The stasis start to land. I love what Trap's doing with those oracles. We got Wizard Trap over here up against Muggle Zest. Zest very strong, but he doesn't have the spell casting. Alright, he doesn't have the... He's not making the magic... Trap hits his own zealot. Nice dodge there. Zest trying to save his stalkers. Not working out. Trap holding on both fronts. Okay, that's not enough stalkers. Zest trying to brute force into victory, but you see the remnants of the battle. What a game! I'm loving these two playing. They have such distinct styles. Trap is kind of a little bit of a fancier player. Oh, watch out! Another couple shots. He already blinked. He can't block. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, terrible damage. Zest getting slammed the full broadside. Reinforcements on the other side of the bridge. Zest has +3 attack for his more conventional gateway units, but Trap is just laying into him now. His disruptor's online. The DT's carved a path through, and Zest says, well, after begrudgingly losing 3,000 more minerals and 1,000 more gas, double the stalkers. If you can't beat them, well, beat them with the same thing. If you can't beat them how you were beating them before, I wasn't going to say join them, because I don't think that's really an accurate description, but if you can't throw the first punch, throw the last. There you go. Actually, he did kind of throw the first punch. None of these are working. I'm trying to sound profound. It's just coming out sad. We've all been there. Stalker's forced to retreat. Trap coming up. He's rolling 5 disruptors. How do you even stop this? The robotics bay. Zest blunks away. Shield battery overcharge won't save you against disruptors. You can't heal death. Has to blink away. That's too many. There are way too many disruptors. How do you deal with that? What are you doing? He blinks away. Another one. He's somehow managed, like, right now Trap is going ridiculously deep in the paint. Trap needs to just get this done. Zest is Dodge, duck, dipping, and dive. He fires 2 shots. Return fire. Massive hits. Zest. His first 2 disruptors. Change everything. Reinforcements. Turn it around. Stasis will not stop this. Zest strikes back. What a turnaround. Zest. Trap did not focus. He needed to kill those robos. He knew what was coming out of them. It wasn't going to be observers. They don't just like to watch. What is happening? Zest has trapped the Dark Templar inside. Oh my god. He's body blocking DTs in to contemplate their death. I'm maybe fangirling a bit, but you guys should be used to it by now. Like, Trap is making big plays. Okay, alright. But Zest over here is giving Shakespeare competition. Trap is, no, he lost his initiative. He lost his Ruptors. He had the tech advantage and the supply. Oh, God. Well, that was a big one. Wasn't enough to turn the tides. DT's coming in, killing probes. I have no idea. No, those are Trap's probes dying, not Zest probes. Though he's going for the Robo with the Dark Templar. Trap recalls his Stalkers to the correct Nexus. Though, does he have detection here? He does. He did recall an Observer. Is there Blink? Blink gets the Prism. He pops out the DTs. Zest did not get the 4th. He's up 20 probes, though. Oh my god. What a game! Now there's DTs, the double Ds of despair and destruction. Dark Templar and Disruptors. Dealing it out. Now you gotta be careful that your Disruptors... Well, you don't want your Disruptors to kill your own units. More DTs coming in. Couple cannons for Zest. That should be enough. DT Blink is online. Recall to the left side. With just enough to deal with this. It ain't over yet. Zest has a 30 supply advantage now. He's warping in 10 Stalkers at a time. Zest technically has 11 gates. But he can't really support them. After the probe losses at the 4th. Zest cleaned up the 4th Nexus. This is not a winning fight. He doesn't have any Disruptors to back himself up. The Zest is filling in those armor upgrades now. What is the Disruptor count? 4-0. I don't know what happened to Zest Ruptors. I think they died in the first fight, and he just didn't have a Robobay to build anymore. Fires a shot, though. He already blonked. And Zest minimizing the unit losses. Uh-oh, of course! He blunks across the top! I was wondering, that was a very confident move, but lots of DTs out of nowhere, trying to evacuate the Ruptors, but where can you run? The recall's on cooldown. He's trying to flank the sheer amount of charge lots. There's no detection. Drops out the Ruptors, curves into the Blink, a little too far. The Blink was not, oh, and Disruptors from the back. DTs, wait, that was Zest Ruptor. Wait, I was going, wow! Ah! Zest wins the fight and suddenly has twice as much supply. All right. There's Disruptors, and I think Trap is gonna look through his base and suddenly wonder what the hell happened. Trap is at 70 supply. He's been eviscerated, and I'm not sure either player exactly knows what has happened, but I'm sure Trap's not feeling great about it. That fight just escalated until it ended, and then immediate. And now we're in the refractory period here of PvP. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be building up to another exciting climax, as Trap has been beat down. Zest has scrapped it out with the Ruptors, both conventionally and with Ruptors of his own. I like the scouting speed observer, seeing where he can warp in the DTs. Clever moves from Zest, who's just adding insult to grievous injury. He can actually potentially kill the Robo. Will we get it before another? Oh my. They do so much damage. They should shoot their swords so they have range. Okay, stop talking. You know what? Somebody do something more dramatic so I can stop saying things. Even though it's literally why we're all here. Oh, how do you like it, DT gets hunted down. So how does Trap dig himself out of this one? He's got 4 Raptors, which is approximately 2 or 3 Raptors more than you need to turn the entire game around. Is it likely? Zest has shown confidence in the face of Purification Novas. But he himself has Raptors. They're both building more Robos. Zest has map control. He's got 60 supply. Once again, this game has been so hectic. I don't think either player realizes the supply gap right now. And the units definitely... Oh, wow. This just warped in 10 more Stalkers. He is one of the few people I will give a Stalker pass to. In so many ways. But, with this... the Disruptor shots have to be all scripted at this point. There's no way. Like, Zest is not going to give him a fight. He's not going to give him the opportunity to kill all of his units at once. He's just working. He has more supply on both sides. He's never going to let Trap bring everything to bear. Is that a House Archon now? That Archon is stuck in the main. I don't know how that happened. Maybe a recall? I don't... What? Where did it go? How'd it get out? It got Prism. Special delivery. Disruptor. Dodged. Zest just confidently blinks. Oh, remember this? Never mind. Another Ruptor shot. Essentially, you gotta have 1 to force the blink and 2 to catch it, if possible. For some... Oh, Trap's original pylon is over here. Zest being driven back on the right flank. Trap. 36 probes. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know how you dig yourself out of this one. Zest is now maxed. He's got money in the bank. Plus 3 armor on the way. His units are just better and he has more of them. He's being driven back here only because that's not even half his army. The other task force holding the left flank. Disruptor shot from Zest. Finds nothing. Doesn't need anything. Oh my god, Zest is everywhere. A revelation. Not a happy one. Archon hung out to dry. 1 Stalker trapped. The danger balls. 8 Disruptors on the same spot. Full volley broadside. Doesn't really find much. I don't think he fired everything, but he fired a lot. And he was actually able to drive back Zest. Zest brought everything into 1 spot, and that's where the Disruptors can actually shine. Trap forcing the issue. He's keeping his Raptors together. If you split them, you run the risk of getting overrun. If you don't split them, then you run the risk of losing your bases. Exploratory shots. DTs. The only real mining base of Trap is besieged and broken. The Raptors are coming up. The DTs will find them. Fires a couple shots. Catch nothing. Shaq at the free throw line. 0 for 2. Meanwhile, Zest hunting down and killing Stalkers, and Zest with a 2-0 victory. Zest, honestly, that was a pure Zest matchup. Trap putting on a good show, but I loved watching that. If you loved watching it too, smash that like button like Zest smashes Disruptors that had the gall to show up in his field of vision. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun. Check out these. Well, and stay chill.